Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. Good evening. Right now the time is approximately 9:20 p.m. Eastern Time, and the date is Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. By the way, an interesting addition to my YouTube studio in my beautiful living room. I have this, as some of you may recall, I have this beautiful new office chair, and it has this mesh back. But, you know, there have been times when it's been especially warm on certain days, so I would sit in my chair shirtless. And the mesh would start grazing against this part of my back and torso. So I'd actually get rubbed raw and things like that. So now what I've done is I've taken a fitted sheet. It's a lavender colored fitted sheet, and it's currently on the chair. Although I do want to purchase a purple or lavender or even magenta full sheet set. That way I can put the fitted sheet over the chair. I can put one of the pillow things. I'm sorry, I just noticed Bosk doing some things, so I'm curious if there's been a problem. She didn't move the camera at all, she's just moving the ring light. Okay, thank you. So yeah, so basically I want to do that. That way, you know, it'll keep keeping this area nice and, you know, scar free, rash free, all that other stuff free. Anyway, so I am happily continuing my series of more than a walkthrough videos, this time featuring the Mystic Male Tarot, created and illustrated by John C. Jennison Jr. I don't know why I always forget his name. It's the Jennison. It's like, there's something about the Jennison that's like, it's like Jennison. Oh, thank you, Goddess, I was right. Okay, John C. Jennison Jr. Yes, yes, yes. Anyway, so now let me put this back where it belongs, and I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the cover of the box. Ain't it pretty? It's a pretty, pretty box. And I'm going to have him do a close-up of the card. The more common name is the High Priestess, but in this tarot deck, it is called the Sage. And I'm going to have him do a close-up of the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous back of the card design, which I love. Now, for contrast, this is the Gay Tarot, illustrated by Antonella Platano. I love her graphic novel style of artwork so much that I have every tarot deck that she's illustrated. All of them have been published by Lo Scarabeo. I think, no, I actually don't remember the order in which they were published. Oh, I'll have to include it in the description box for the video. But I want to show you the front cover of the box of the Gay Tarot, because I want to do a bit of a contrast. And the back of the card, the back of the box design. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the Sage from the Mystic Male Tarot in my left hand, and I'm going to hold the Intuitive, more commonly known as the High Priestess, from the Gay Tarot in my right hand, and I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the back of the card design of both, and now I'm going to have him do the front. Okay. Just compare and contrast type of deal. So, reading glasses at the ready, and I want to read what Mr. Jennison Jr. wrote about the Sage card. Okay. Trump 2, the Sage, astrologically aligned, not surprisingly, with the moon. The inner eye and subconscious mind are both knowledgeable and powerful. Trust your inner... Hold on, I want to make sure that her tail is out of the way. You know, Isis. Speaking of which, trust your inner wisdom to guide you in the right direction. The shadow side, as in the reverse, may represent a withdrawal from the world secrets kept, or ignoring your intuition. You know, it's funny because I almost never pull the High Priestess card for myself. And I don't use reversed cards, so it almost never comes up for me as symbolic of withdrawal from the world. The irony is that I've been advocating sacred solitude for years, and I still make sure that no more than 3 to 4 months go by without engaging in a sacred solitude sojourn of at least 3 days. So I love the Rider-Waite-Smith imagery represented on the Sage card. The black pillar, which would traditionally have the letter B on it for Boaz. The white pillar, which traditionally have the letter J on it for Jachin. The snake around the white pillar. This bird, and if Mr. Jennison Jr. watches this video, he can let me know if it is a dove or an owl. I'm getting that owl look to the card, and given that Hecate has been on my mind a lot today, I wouldn't be surprised if it is an owl. But if Mr. Jennison Jr. watches this video, he can let me know if it's an owl or another kind of bird. I love that the sage is draped in a blue sheet, which is for modesty, because I have a feeling that under the blue sheet is completely naked. You know, I love the word naked. He's looking at a document as opposed to a scroll. The pomegranate, which is beautifully sliced open on the left, and this humongous crescent moon over his eyes, which I find fascinating because it's if you look closely, there's this like golden yellow dot just above the bow of the crescent moon. So I feel like, and it's right where the third eye is. So this is about covering up. Actually, you know what? I have a better visual aid. Close both eyes to see with the other eye. This was said by Rumi. And this is actually a pendulum kit from inkedgoddesscreations.com. I cannot wait to make another purchase from them. I love their stuff. Anyway, so to use the more common name for the Sage card, I want to talk a little bit about the High Priestess card. Let me know, City. So the High Priestess card, for me, and for many people, has always represented the goddess more commonly known as Isis. And if you look at most of the traditional imagery for the High Priestess card, you will see a lot of Isian imagery, as in imagery related to the goddess Isis, and a lot of Marian imagery, as in imagery related to the goddess Mary, as in Mother Mary, or Mary the Blessed Mother. You know, there's the crescent moon, there's the black and the white, which there's the blue, you know, and these are all traditional lunar colors. You know, you have black for the dark moon and the new moon, you have white for the bright moon, which is the night before the full moon and the full moon. And then, of course, you have blue, which is a traditional color that corresponds to the sign of Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. And blue is also a traditional lunar color, as in a moon color. And of course, you know, I have 3 planets in Capricorn, which is the polar opposite of Cancer. And what am I wearing? I'm wearing a navy blue muscle shirt. I'm wearing a pair of light blue pajama pants, and I'm wearing a pair of blue and gray cat hair, you know, flip-flops. So I'm draped in lunar colors, and as some of you know, after I began leading a monthly goddess circle, I found that it's extremely natural for me to wear lunar colors every day. I have taken the Cosmic Colors Vibration section of Margie Lapanja's The Goddess's Guide to Love, and I have basically focused on wearing moon colors, or mooner colors. But the Sage card and the High Priestess card are definitely about intuition, and following one's intuition, and developing one's intuition. I've always felt that the High Priestess card is definitely one of the psychic witch cards of the tarot. And it's not a coincidence that in many magical traditions, you know, the leader of the coven or the grove is a high priestess. Even if she's not called a high priestess, she is a high priestess because she is the one that directs and governs and guides and organizes. So, but yes, most of the time I have seen the goddess Isis represented on the Sage card or the High Priestess card. In the Mythic Tarot, created by Juliet Sharman Burke, it's Athena. And in the Spiral Tarot, created by Kay Steventon, it's Hecate. I don't remember any other goddess represented on the High Priestess card in other tarot decks other than those three. If you know of a tarot deck that depicts another goddess besides those three, let me know what the name of the goddess is and on which tarot deck, because I would love to have it. Because I really do want to eventually acquire every goddess-themed tarot and oracle card deck that draws me. There actually was a goddess-themed oracle card deck that I wished I had been drawn to because the two people who co-created it are wonderful. But it only had 12 cards, and the imagery did not appeal to me at all. I don't even remember the name of it. So there you go. But anyway, so, you know, there really is so much that I could say about the High Priestess card and about the Sage card. And, you know, with these more than a walkthrough videos, my intention is to keep them as short and as sweet as possible. At the very least, under 15 minutes. And since I might be a little over my time, I do want to wrap up this video. I hope you understand. I really hope you understand. But in any event, YouTube, as always, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. Thank you so much for all the likes, all the comments, all the shares, all the subscriptions, and thank you for those of you that have been taking the plunges, or rather diving deep, that's a better way to say it, diving deep and scheduling either your very first psychic session with me or your very next psychic session with me. Good night, many blessings, and stay tuned for the next video.